Hi everyone, I'm Scott. Thanks for clicking on my video. It's now Wednesday, the 9th of December, and I am planning on seeing the new Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens, no later than 2 weeks from today, Wednesday the 23rd. Which is 2 days before Christmas. I know it opens on the 18th, and I would go and see it right away. Heck, I would go and see it right this minute if I could. But I'm planning on avoiding the crowds opening weekend, and I know that I'll have a completely free day on the Wednesday after it opens, and so that would be the perfect time for me to see whatever show is available. Hopefully there will be a few. I've got my theater picked out and everything like that, and I'm really excited to see it. Hoping it'll be good. And I wanted to make a video talking about the Star Wars movies that I've enjoyed and not enjoyed so far. It's no secret that the prequels are little loved by some people, including myself. But there are some things that I do like about the prequels. A few elements, moments here and there, certain lines. So I thought I'd make a video devoted to what I liked about them. My 10 favorite things about the prequels. Number 10. In the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan and Anakin are engaged in a mission to rescue the kidnapped Chancellor Palpatine. They're in their respective spacecraft, flying towards General Grievous's ship. They're attacked by buzz droids. Buzz droids are all over Anakin's ship. R2-D2 basically is blasting away at them with his little weapon that pops out of his dome. After he neutralizes the last one, it falls away into space. Anakin offers him congratulations, and so does Obi-Wan. Great R2, he says, which is odd because in the previous movie, he didn't have a high opinion of droids. He was talking to Dexter Jettster about how droids couldn't actually think. They just are programs, basically, walking around in big metal bodies. But he actually offers encouragement and praise to R2-D2, which is something that I wasn't actually expecting. And he's sincere about it, too, which is kind of cool. Number 9. In The Phantom Menace, the Trade Federation roll all their big war vehicles into the capital of Naboo. Newt Gunray and his second-in-command step off the ship and look around and go, "Ah, victory!" It wasn't exactly a battle. He is giving himself a little bit too much praise because all they did was roll their vehicles into town and didn't encounter any resistance whatsoever. Kind of a hollow victory, but he's deluding himself into thinking he's actually won something, and that's kind of amusing. Number 8. In Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan is investigating the assassin on Coruscant, which takes him to Kamino, the place where all the clones are being made. When he arrives there, he's greeted by one of the administrators of the facility, who speaks to him in English rather than its own alien language. And it tells him that the order for the clones was placed by a Jedi named Master Sifo Dyas. And Obi-Wan's like, "Are you sure about that?" And the alien has a little bit difficulty pronouncing it. Sounds like English isn't his first language, so he's making an extra effort to pronounce properly. He's kind of like going, "Master Sifo Dyas." He's not designed to speak English, but he's trying anyway, and that little sort of slip up there, that hesitation, was a nice little naturalistic moment in a movie that has very, very little in the way of spontaneity and life and zest. Number 7, also from Attack of the Clones. One of the best performances in the whole prequel trilogy is from Christopher Lee as Count Dooku. In a scene in Attack of the Clones, he's meeting with several different organizations, the heads of several different organizations, including the Techno-Union and, of course, Newt Gunray from the Trade Federation. Now, in the previous scene, he's speaking with Newt Gunray about the fact that Newt Gunray is not going to put all his droids at Count Dooku's disposal unless Padme Amidala is assassinated. He wants her head. You know, he embarrassed her on Naboo in the previous movie, and he wants her head. He wants revenge. But in the meeting with all the other heads, when each of them is saying, okay, we'll lend you our droids, and we'll lend you our ships, and we'll lend you our weapons, Count Dooku then says the Trade Federation has also pledged its support, and when their battle droids join with yours, we will have an unstoppable army. Which, of course, isn't true. In the previous scene, Newt Gunray says, I'm not going to give you my battle droids until you kill Padme Amidala for me. But in that meeting, he's not going to contradict Count Dooku. And of course, Count Dooku knows that Newt Gunray isn't going to voluntarily say, we're going to give you our battle droids, so he speaks for him instead. And Newt Gunray is too scared of Count Dooku to say, no, I didn't actually say that. That was a cute little moment. Number 6. In The Phantom Menace, when Padme, in the guise, of course, of the Queen of Naboo, meets with Palpatine, he's bringing her up to speed on what's been happening in the Senate. He says, Chancellor Valorum has little real power. He has been mired in baseless allegations of corruption. I'll bet they're baseless. He's the one that started them in the first place. Yes, Chancellor Valorum's probably a very decent guy. But it's Palpatine who's been granting favors and payoffs to all the senators to, vote his way, vote him into the office of Supreme Chancellor and other stuff that he wants happening. Yeah, he's the source of corruption. Those allegations are definitely baseless, and he would know. Number 5. In Attack of the Clones, there's a big battle where the various droid armies are fighting the Jedi in the arena on Geonosis. And you've got, of course, the Trade Federation droids, which are, of course, the rolling droidicas, and the spindly kind of droids that fire their little blasters, their handheld blasters. In addition to that, you've got the Techno-Union droids, which are these big sort of hulking things with blasters built right into their arms. And there's a really amusing little moment where there's a Trade Federation droid standing in front of a Techno-Union droid, and the Techno-Union droid just kind of bats him out of the way so he can get a clear shot of the Jedi. Doesn't care that he's on the same side. Just get out of my way, you spindly little thing. Bam, bam, bam. That was really cute. Number 4. The duel with Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace. At the climax, of course, of the Attack of the Clones, you've got several battles happening all at once. You've got a shootout in space, you've got shootouts on the ground, and you've got Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fighting Darth Maul. And it's an exceptionally well choreographed duel. I really like it a lot. The only reason why it's not higher on the list, of course, is because it ends so lamely. Obi-Wan does a big flipping somersault over Darth Maul, stands right next to him, and then slashes him through the gut, and Darth Maul just kind of stands there and takes it. What was all that about, huh? Lame. Yeah. But up until that point, the fight choreography is really great, and of course the music's good too. We'll get to that in a second. Number 3. In Revenge of the Sith, they're searching for, of course, Darth Sidious, the mysterious Sith master that's supposedly behind everything. And Anakin meets with Palpatine at one point, at which point Palpatine openly admits that he knows how to use the dark side of the Force. And Anakin goes, wait a minute, you're the Sith Lord we've been looking for. And Palpatine says, do you want to kill me? And Anakin says, I would certainly like to. And at that point, we have this neat little transition here. The character of Palpatine has 2 different ways of speaking. He speaks in a normal voice when he is in the guise of Palpatine, the respected senator or Supreme Chancellor of the Senate, and when he's speaking as Darth Sidious, of course, his voice becomes more and more gravelly and ominous. And in the span of one line that he has to Anakin, he transitions between one type of voice and the other. He goes, I know you would. I can feel your anger. It gives you focus, makes you stronger. That's good. I really like Ian McDiarmid a lot in most of the movies, especially in The Phantom Menace, but that's a nice moment from him in Revenge of the Sith. Number 2, Obi-Wan has stashed himself secretly on Padme's ship in Revenge of the Sith. When she goes to Mustafar to find Anakin, she told him that she doesn't know where Anakin is, but of course he knows that she's lying. So when she goes to Mustafar to meet with Anakin, she's having a conversation with him. She's very upset. She's angry. She doesn't know why he's doing all the stuff that he's doing, And during their conversation, there's basically sort of a back and forth, a close-up on her, a close-up on him as they're talking. And at one point, he is looking away from her, off into the distance, above her head. as he's talking, and we don't see what he's looking at, if anything. It cuts back to her, and it cuts back to him again, and he looks up again, and then we see what he's looking at, which is Obi-Wan standing at the head of the ramp to Padme's ship, because now it's on. Now, of course, Obi-Wan knows that Anakin's turned to the dark side, and Anakin knows that Obi-Wan knows, and I'm like, oh, it's on now. This is what it's all been leading up to, right before their big fight. Great little moment right there. A nice a moment of grace in otherwise very stilted series. And finally, my number one favorite thing in all the prequel trilogy, of course, is John Williams' Duel of the Fates theme, which is not only used in The Phantom Menace, but also in Revenge of the Sith and the climactic lightsaber battles in both those movies. It's a fantastic piece of music, one of my favorite pieces of music in the entire Star Wars trilogy. I find it even more exciting than many of the pieces in the original trilogy, and I hum it to myself frequently. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't use Duel of the Fates in any of the promotional materials from the new Star Wars movies, but, you know, they're banking on the nostalgia from the original trilogy, I'd say. There's my little list. Hope you enjoyed this. And, of course, I will be watching the new Star Wars movie and doing a video on what I thought of it soon after I see it. So I hope you'll tune in for that. Thanks for watching. See you later.